For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Is the Nation of Islam Islamic? Lots of people claim to be Islamic. There's a state which says it is such. There's the Islamic Republic of Iran. But tonight we're asking the question, is the Nation of Islam Islamic? And I'm posing that question to Omar X, who has a very Islamic name, but it also sounds like a Nation of Islam name. Welcome, Omar.
Thank you for having me on your show, sir.
You're always welcome. Why the X? Why are you Omar X?
The X represents the for us, as we in this country are victims of oppression. We have lived through oppression for at least 50 or 60 years, if not longer, if we don't go into the history of ours.
Who's we? Who's
pain since our grandfathers. And
which community are you speaking on behalf of?
When you spoke about racism in the 60s, people just said black. And when they said black, that meant Pakistani, that meant Bangladeshi, Indian, it even meant Chinese. And it certainly meant the black brothers and sisters that we have. So when I say us, I just mean all communities. The white oppressors have held us down in this country for far too long. And it's about time that we stood up.
So you identify with this solidarity between all non-white people, would that be fair to say?
I do indeed, and the X is, for me, paying homage to the works of the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. When I was in Brooklyn, I had the honour and the pleasure of meeting many of the brothers and sisters that work within the Nation of Islam, and I can tell you straight up that the work that they do for peace and justice and equality, even the white police officers in this country don't do.
Okay. But just to put it into context, you are, from what I understand, a mainstream Muslim, born into a Muslim family, born into an Asian Muslim family, rather than a black convert to Islam, such as Malcolm X, who took the name X as a replacement for his slave name. He, of course, changed his name later and came round to ideas that were much more in compliance with mainstream Sunni Islam. Would that be fair to say?
No. For me, the X represents, and I agree with what you have said about Malcolm X, but the X for me represents more than just the X that Malcolm X had. It also, for me, not only is it an X, but it's an EX. That you have kept us down for so long. You have made us into window cleaners and cab drivers and Uber drivers and cleaners and pizza delivery boys and girls, when we could be kings and queens and we could be the best in this society. We could be the lawyers and the solicitors, and yes, some of our people are. But yet you've left us in this gutter, this hellhole that you call England, and you feeding us crumbs and making us think that, yes, this is such a great nation. You take everything that we have and you throw us in these stupid cabs.
If you don't like it
make
here,
us drive your kids about.
If you don't like it here, Omar X, if you don't like it here, no one's keeping you here.
Everything is keeping us here. We cannot go to another nation. We need our own nation. We need somewhere a part of this country. Give us Southampton. Give us some part up north. Give us Blackburn. Give us something that we can call our own. We have died on every zone that you have been involved in. We have died everywhere on this earth. When you came to India, it was one of the richest countries on earth. And when you left India, it was the poorest country on earth. So we are entitled to be here. It's our God-given right to be here. We were born here and we were raised here. We have every reason to be here. We have every right to remain in this country and call it our own country, but that doesn't mean that we have to accept the evilness that comes out from white people.
Okay, so do you believe in no-go zones that Tommy Robinson bangs on about and says, oh, such and such a place is a no-go zone? Would you like to create
this is what people do.
Would you like to create a no-go zone?
I said nothing.
Rotherham and Telford are being mentioned
zones.
here.
Where we don't have to be a bunch of cab drivers, where we don't have to be your slaves. We want to be free, where we don't have to be pizza boys and girls. Where we don't have to drive a goddamn Uber till 5 in the morning and get paid peanuts. We just want a place where we can have justice and equality, just like you have justice and equality. We're not asking for too much. Is that too much to ask for? We just want to be free. And when I say free, I don't mean separate completely away from white people. Yes, there are many good white people. I'm not denying that fact. But if you ask me, there's just too few, and we've been in our muck and mire for too long, and it's about time that we stood up.
Are the good white people you're talking about, are they Muslim?
Sorry?
The good white people that you've heard of, are they white Muslims? Necessarily?
No. Some white Muslims, when they become Muslim and when they convert to Islam, people hug them in the mosque like they're the greatest thing since Muhammad Ali or something. They hug them, and there's 500 people hugging them and honoring them and exchanging numbers with that white person when he becomes a Muslim. But when a black man becomes a Muslim, or when a brown man becomes a Muslim, it's just another punk coming home. That's all it is. So even if they are Muslims, that doesn't make them good necessarily. They are good white people that are non-Muslims. They are good white Muslims too. But I just want justice and equality for the people that I have lived with. There's been no assistance for us. There's been no help for us. When we talk about honor killings, dishonor killings, I call them, there's been nothing for us. We're stuck in this hellhole, and it's time for us to stand up.
All right. I'm going to watch a little bit from Leo Muhammad. We're asking the question, is the Nation of Islam Islamic? But we can get on to any other questions that people might want to ask. Let's have a little listen.
Please. That's small time stuff. See the black man? You see this black man here? We're not like you, man. We're not weak and soft like you. We are the people who have survived 400 years of the most vicious treatment ever meted out to any people on this planet. And we're still looking good. We're still standing strong. We are still the best looking. You wish you could have a tan like this. You wish you could have a square shoulders like the black man. Oh, you wish. Understand that the 400 years that we went through, it didn't make us behave like you. But right now, in your masjid, in your mosque, MI5 is in there. Mossad is in there. CIA is in there. FBI is in there.
Okay, pause it there. You would have thought Leo Muhammad was addressing the white man there. He was kind of talking like he was speaking to an enemy and saying, we're not like you. It seems he was actually talking to the mainstream Muslims in this country and accusing them of, as he said, having MI5, CIA within their mosques and saying that they've somehow been infiltrated. He also boasted about being a black man and the unique nature of the black man. This goes against what I've read in the Quran about there being no one better than another apart from in faith. But we've got a call, so I'm going to merge the calls. Who's this?
Hi, it's me.
Oh, Mac, brilliant. Right on time. Mac, I've got Omar X on the line. The question of the night, please stay on topic, gentlemen, is the Nation of Islam Islamic? Mac, what say you?
I have a couple of, obviously, because I've listened to them, and that's they talk about the word to live is to be evil if you read it backwards, or they work on the sort of, but they even talk about, I don't know if you've got the clip or played it, is where he's wearing a gold watch. He goes, because gold you're not meant to wear as a Muslim.
Okay.
So he's wearing, in one of these Hyde Park talks, he actually is wearing a gold ring, gold watch, and he's like, why shouldn't I wear it? God provided me with this materialistic things.
Yeah.
But again, it's a kind of a deviation in my eyes. I don't know, I could be wrong, but that is what I took also from, that was one of the major issues. Now, they say the reason why men shouldn't wear gold is because it affects their manlyhood. Because we are affected. At the end of the day, we got iron, we got minerals in our body that can be affected by these sort of we conduct electricity, and so can these metals. They're conductors as well. So it depends. So when God says not to wear gold, and again, Nation Islam are deviating and saying, it's okay.
I think that's one of the lesser deviations of the schismatic Nation of Islam. They let the men wear gold. They also declare they've had another prophet.
Elijah, I mean, the thing is, Malcolm X initially was a part of it until he realized how Elijah was actually living, and the complaints about the concubines or the extra wives that he was having, and he kind of, Malcolm X kind of, he was still, he claimed to be Muslim, but he did not want to be a part of the Nation of Islam anymore. And I don't know, maybe that's the conspiracy and why who killed him, or that's another conspiracy leading back to Elijah. I mean, they are Nation of Islam, aren't they?
That's correct.
Can I come in there, please?
Back to you, Omar X.
Thank you. First, regarding the gold. Gold, in those days, yes, men were told not to wear gold. And the reason was that people were in poverty. People were starving to death. How the heck would I look if I roll up now with all this bling bling on in a country where the people are poor and they're starving? This is why we were told as Muslims not to wear gold. And today, yes, we don't have that problem, so it's not as bad. So if some person wants to wear gold, they can wear gold. Now, on the comments, if I could take something a bit on the other side, there's somebody saying Rotherham, Rochdale, Bristol, Oxford. And listen, whoever that person is, I can put every single town in this country. Hold on, I'll get you back in. Hold on a second. You can come back in.
Okay.
Look. This is only going to work if you respectfully listen to me.
Okay,
listen to you.
You're in, Omar.
That's only fair. Regarding the person who's put all these,
Omar X, you're in. We'll let Mac back in a minute.
Thank you. Look, all these people, all these towns that the person's insinuating that have Muslim or Asian groomers, and so I can put every single town in this country. Every single town I can sit on the live chat, and I can put every single town, and you've got white gangs there, you've got white pedophiles there. So don't try to put this on us. No problem. Then you have someone saying 190,000 girls last year. Give me a goddamn break, man. Why do you come up with these numbers?
Omar X, we've got another caller. I'm merging the call now, Omar X. You're through to Lessons for Life. Who's this? Hello, caller. You are live on Lessons for Life. Someone in the background there, maybe they're a little bit shy. I don't know. Can you hear me? You've called the show. Omar, carry on, mate. We've got another caller, but they don't want to say anything.
190,000 sexual abuses in 1 year. This person, whatever his name is insinuating. 85,000 is the number that the police give us in this country. Sexual abuse.
Okay. Omar X, we've got another call. I'm just going to welcome. Who's this?
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Welcome. Who's calling?
My name's Ian.
Okay, how you doing, Ian?
Not too bad, mate.
Welcome to Lessons for Life.
I'm just watching you on the internet at the moment.
Thank you for calling. We're asking the question, is the Nation of Islam Islamic? But you can answer, you can take it any way you want to go with it. What are your views?
The thing is, you really got to look at demographics, really.
Okay.
Right, okay, because 99.3% of all girls that have been raped in this country by Islamic groups.
Okay.
Give me a break, man. Where the heck do you get that information from? Where do you extrapolate that from?
The OSB.
Yeah, you just made it up, man. You just made the bloody thing up right now.
No. It's from the Home Office.
You did. Be a man and just say you made it
I'm
up.
I'm RX. What if this gentleman's correct? What if he's right?
How the heck? Look
correct.
at the police report.
It's from the national statistics.
No, you're not. 93% of rapists in this country are Asian or Muslim. Give me a break. You know how stupid you sound when you say that. It makes no sense. It's impossible.
It's from the Home
Go
Office.
on to Google right now. Go on to Google right now and check it, and then ring
Caller,
back on the damn show and apologise.
I
if you're a man.
So.
Caller, what I think you're touching upon is the fact that there was a problem with Muslim grooming gangs, as they call it, disproportionately being involved in that particular crime, and I think that community has to admit that and address it.
But what the national statistics are actually saying, is because there's a minority in this country which happens to be Asian males. They are the primal predators of white females.
And why do you think that is?
Rapists.
Why do you think that is?
I can tell you exactly why that is.
Go on, tell us why it is. Omar, I want you to let this caller have a little.
Get the fuck out of my country.
Go ahead.
Sorry, we've got someone swearing on the line. Hello?
No.
Go on.
Hello. Well, I can tell you exactly why that is.
Yeah.
It's because Asian males seem to see white females, as predatory prey, because they have an ideology where they think they should be superior to a woman than what a woman is to a man.
Dude, that is completely untrue. That's the last thing anyone that I've met in my entire life, and I've been Muslim for 4 years, no one thinks that. Yes, you get the rapists, you get the pedophiles, I'm not denying that. And I'm with you when you say that. When they are Asian Muslim pedophiles, and we're coming from them. Yeah, we're coming for them.
Yeah,
we're going to teach them a lesson. But don't make it out to be a 93% Muslim rapist gang thing. This is not right. Look, 85,000 women, because you wrote 190,000 rapes in this country about Muslim men. This is untrue.
Statistics. It's not my personal.
Okay, caller.
It's the Home Office statistics.
We've got another caller. We've got another caller on the line who I want to let in if he wants to be involved in the conversation. Omar X. Okay. Who else is there?
Yeah, it's Nathan from Truro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello Nathan in Truro. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, Omar. Can I just make a point to Omar?
Yeah. Omar's listening.
Yeah, Omar. We see you. Okay, the pushback is about to begin. Okay, we see you, we see your people. You're an alien and you don't belong in this country. Okay, do you understand that? Patriotic alternative.
No, but look. When you say I see you, I don't know what you mean. I'm sure you haven't seen me. What does that mean? You see us what?
You don't belong here.
Are you saying that you see?
Why does Omar not belong in the UK?
Go back to your homeland.
Shouldn't we all have a right to live where we're born or where our parents were born?
Yes, and Omar's grandparents weren't born here. His ancestors don't come from this land. And the problems his people brought here have been foisted upon us unasked for. And he has the gall, he has the brass bollocks to come on your radio station, your talk radio station, and defend the disgusting actions of his tribe, raping young white girls as a power grab against our people. And you think that's okay? Omar's a disgusting individual, and his people are disgusting.
No, hold on. Let me in there. Hold on. I never said.
United Kingdom.
No, Ian, hold on a second.
Go back to their homeland.
You made an accusation
where they originated from.
Look, are you listening to anything I'm saying?
Yeah, we're listening, Omar. Look, go on, Omar. We'll listen.
Look, I'm saying, no, don't put that on me, mate. Don't put that on me. I never said that it's okay to rape white women. I'm disgusted by that as much as you are. I say put them, when you put them... No. You're mistaken. Sorry? No. I
just want to answer the people that's being racist right now.
Look, you need to re-listen. I never said that. I never said it's okay. I'm completely against what you just said. I don't care if it's a Muslim or a non-Muslim paedophile. I want them in jail for the rest of their lives. I don't put that on me.
Right, okay, let these lot respond. We've got another caller now. Welcome. You've just joined us.
Hello?
Yeah, you're welcome. You've just joined us. What is your take on the conversation?
Hello, mate. Yeah, my name's Chris. I'm from... I just wanted to know your opinions on... obviously, Prophet Muhammad. He obviously married Aisha at the age of 6 and had sex with the age of 9, which is actually a child. Do you condemn the actions of the Prophet Muhammad for sleeping with a child?
Well, for example, Sheikh Imran Hussein, a prominent scholar from the Caribbean, does not believe that the Prophet Muhammad did what you said. And there is a lot of conflicting evidence. Some people, many, perhaps the majority, perhaps the majority view is that he married at that age. But there are people that believe she was a lot older. I'm guessing you believe.
People that are saying they try and say she was 21 because she was a bit of a, she slept around a bit, and they want to make her the most.
Yeah, I don't.
And I just wanted to point out Sophia. Sophia was married to an Israeli guy, and her Israeli husband was killed, slaughtered by Muhammad, who you think is the top man, the moral compass. Her husband was murdered, and then she willingly married him. That doesn't really make any sense. So that's like somebody coming into my home to kill me, and then my wife leaving, going to marry the bloke that killed me. Don't make much sense.
But, sir, not all Muslims believe in these stories that you are mentioning. Some do, some may justify it, and some don't. And there's a broad spectrum of opinion within people. That's why I think we really need to get to know the person and know what they think and what they would do in their life, rather than pluck out stories from a book that's that old.
Can I just read you a little quote here, mate?
Yeah.
Also forbidden are all married women except those whom your right hand possesses.
Mm-hmm.
This is Allah's ordinance to you and lawful for you all. All women, besides those provided that you speak with your property. Mm-hmm. This sounds like you were taking women. You take women's rights. Muhammad taking sex rights. The reason why we are having such an epidemic grooming gang crisis in Britain right now is because the Quran teaches you can take non-Muslims as sexual slaves.
Okay. And why on a show about whether the Nation of Islam is Islamic, have we got all these questions going on? Yeah, go for it.
Can I respond to that?
I know you say that we're kind of going off topic here. Can I just make a point on that?
Yeah, you're welcome. Look, I always believe in freedom of speech on this show, so go for it.
So what it is every time this tribe of people, the Muslims, does anything that we find reprehensible, which they do all the time, every single time we get this defense of, they're not real Muslims, this isn't the real Islam. So, you have to understand that on one hand they're saying, there's 1.6 billion of us, there's 1.6 billion of us. And on the other hand, they're all completely fakely disavow every time something bad happens. And we are sick to the back teeth of it. We don't care if they go murdering each other and raping each other in the desert.
Okay.
Look, Ian, hold on. Listen, let me back in here, for goodness sake. There's been a lot of mistruths out there. What are you guys doing, man? What shows do you listen to? What radio shows do you guys listen to? Look, firstly, Ian, I think it's fair if you if you're man enough, you should apologize to me, because I am completely against rape, grooming gangs of any kind, 100%. And, I'll give my life for anyone to protect any woman. I don't care if it's Muslim or non-Muslim. I think it would be unfair to insinuate and just clear cut, just say that I support grooming gangs. I've been against that all my life. So if you're man enough, then apologize. We can continue.
Okay, and we've got another caller that's joined us. The caller that just joined, you're welcome. Any thoughts on what we've said so far? Hello, caller. We've got another caller as well. You're welcome.
Do you understand why the British indigenous people are a bit annoyed at the moment? 85% of convicted grooming gangs are Muslim.
Okay. And why was the term grooming gang is a new term for that type of behaviour, which is a problem disproportionately in that particular community, right?
That's persisted since the 1970s.
Okay.
It's not a new term for it.
Oh, the term grooming gang, no?
The grooming gang has existed since the 1970s.
Okay, and it's specifically a problem within the Muslim community, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I think the Muslim...
I think you two might be good Muslims, but we don't see enough from you good Muslims to protest against the large scale of rape there against our people. Now, you might say, there's white people that are grooming. The thing is, when white people are doing it, they're not ringing up their brothers and their cousins and their fathers to go and rape young children. You get the one individual, and when that one individual gets...
Sorry, caller.
Listen, dude.
Sorry, caller. We lost you temporarily, but you're back in.
You've got chavs, You've got chavs that do exactly that, man. Don't give us all that. You've got white rapists out there and white grooming gangs. You don't talk about it because it doesn't fit your damn agenda of hatred.
Omar, one at a time. Let him back in. Go on, caller.
Hello, mate. Since 1970s, since we imported Sikhs into our country, we've never had a problem with them. Since the 1970s, when we brought Muslims into our country, there's been nothing but grooming gangs.
Okay.
So the thing is, at the end of the day, we don't need those sort of calibre of people in our country. For the indigenous white people of this country, we've now become a second-class citizen where our children are being used by minority groups, grooming our children.
Omar, you're back in.
I think they should be supported.
Okay.
I really do.
Yeah.
I think they need to be re-impassionated. It's more than a bit of Sorry?
All right.
Look, you have rapists, you have groomers in every... Just put on the flip and go to watch those the documentaries that they have on true crimes and stuff. I'll go into YouTube and pedophile hunters. Why don't you go on pedophile hunters in Canada and UK? All 99% of those people are white. And it's time that you guys understood that. I'm not accusing you. I'm not saying all white people are pedophiles and rapists. But you are saying that Asians and Muslims, we're grooming gang type people. We're nothing of the sort. Now, you might have it up north in particular. I understand that they did share the girls, but chavs do that too. You have white chavs that are, doing all those sorts of evil things. But don't put that small time stuff on me. Whoever Ian is on here, Ian, be a man and apologize to me for accusing me and for saying that I'm kind of like supporting this. I'm against this crap, man. I've been against this.
Omar, you've got a response.
Omar.
Yeah.
Hello. Are you there, Omar?
Yeah, you're through to Omar. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. The problem is, Omar, right? Whatever problems we have in this country, when we talk about Jimmy Savile or some other crazy lunatic murderer, that's someone of our people. That's something for us to deal with. Okay. The idea of having an Islam in this country is ridiculous. They shouldn't be here in the first place. Okay, this island belongs to the indigenous population, the British. Now, for some reason, Muslims have come over here and thought it's okay to import all their own third world trash and Islamic filth and bring it with them. And for some reason, instead of shedding that and not turning our country into, the wasteland that they've come from, they've brought it all with them and carried on doing it. And people are starting to learn and starting to see it, and they're just not happy with it. Okay, so I know I'm not saying that you're endorsing this or giving cover for it as such, Omar. But the thing is, if you're not recognising it and calling it out as loudly as the indigenous population is, who are facing demographic replacement, then guess what? You're our enemy, and we are seeing you for it. You are being seen as an enemy of the people of this country. Okay, do you understand that?
Okay, thank you for your call. Another call. Next caller, who's this?
Yeah, can I?
Hello?
Hello, caller, you're welcome. You're through to myself and Omar. What's your view on whether the Nation of Islam is Islamic?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the general state of the country, the lockdown, and things that have happened that you reported on.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, well, have you heard of a little girl called Emily Jones?
No, you're going to have to educate me. Sorry about that.
You haven't heard of Emily Jones? She was a 7-year-old girl, and she was stabbed to death in Bolton Park.
Okay. Recently or a long time ago? Forgive my ignorance, caller. You sprung it upon me. I'm sorry. It's not a story I knew straight off the bat.
I can't hear you. Have to say it again.
So it's not a story I'm familiar with, but you're welcome to speak about it on here if you wish.
Welcome to speak at the hosts, you said?
Yeah. You're welcome to speak about this issue that you brought up about a young girl who was murdered.
Yeah, of course. It was in Bolton, not close to Bolton Town Centre. And it's not been reported on BBC, Sky News. It's been reported, but it's been put to the back of the coronavirus. I just want to bring that up as to why that is.
Okay, yeah, tell me why. A lot of people are saying R.I.P. Emily Jones.
Yeah, of course, I can understand. A lot of people have probably seen it. And, all they see is coronavirus.
That's correct.
A lot of crimes like these that have been committed while this has been going on have been basically put on the back burner, which is a little girl murdered. It should be front page news, you know what I mean?
You would have thought so, yeah.
So, yeah, of course, about that and, some other crimes going on is what I just want to discuss.
Yeah, well, look, unfortunately, I don't know anything about it, and that might be because of the lockdown, as you say, but it's tragic if anyone is murdered. But I'm not going to be able to give you much conversation as I've not researched it yet. But you can feel free to explain to us about it, or if you know anything more about it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you can literally Google half of it. Well, you don't have to go digging because the BBC and whatnot don't mention her name. Emily Jones, a 7-year-old girl murdered in a park on Mother's Day. It should be all over the news, regardless of the coronavirus. When they have people standing 2 meters apart like sheep, it's ridiculous. This little girl was killed, slaughtered for no reason at all, and it hasn't been mainstream media at all. And why is that? What do you think that is?
I don't know, sir. I don't know. Maybe are you about to tell me?
About to tell you, because it's a little white girl, and we want to see that as a little white girl murdered in a country that is plagued by Muslim rape gangs and murderers and every other race under the sun who gets away with all kinds of disgusting hate crimes. But a white little girl, no, who cares? Who gives a shit about her?
Why is that?
There are many that care about that young girl. I for one, am willing to give my life to protect her.
One at a time, gentlemen, one at a time.
Irrespective of her being a Muslim or not. So there are many people in this country that care for her.
Hi, my name's Ali. I wanted to talk about...
Oh, sorry, I've just lost Ali there. Ali, if you're calling, call me back. Sorry about that.
So may I respond to Ian? Is Ian still there?
No, I think Ian's long gone. Who have we got with us at the moment?
Well, may I just respond to his comments if he's listening, if that's okay.
We got a new caller. Who's this?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hearing you loud and clear. Welcome. Is that Ali?
Cool. I just want to let you guys know that this island is not for sale, and I'm fed up of seeing hordes of you guys coming here.
Okay, thanks for your call.
Well, mate, how about you go back to where you
You know what? I'm allow it. We're just going to take them one by one now. Here we go. Hello, caller. Welcome.
You're not English.
Oh, hello. Am I through?
Yeah, you're through to Lessons for Life. What have you got for us?
I was just going to comment on that terrible story about the young girl who got stabbed.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it just sounded terrible, and I think the reason no one knows about it is because the press seems to have covered it up.
And why would they do that?
I think because the attacker is rumoured to be an immigrant.
Okay, that's probably why. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Fuck you.
Okay, thank you.
Fuck off.
Cheers. Yeah. All right.
So what's going on? You see, it's really the truth of some.
Hello, caller. Who's this?
Is coming out, but.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello. I'm just going to take the calls as they come. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Are you ready to get your throat slit?
Hello, caller. Who's this?
Hello, you hung up on me just...
Sorry, I've just got so many calls coming through. You were actually making sense. Yeah, I've got to say, unfortunately, caller, listen. You're one of the few that's making sense. All right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous, man. I was just trying to enjoy the stream and all this.
I know. Unfortunately, this stream will probably be removed because of hate speech. Not by me, by YouTube. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that might be what will happen. We might have to...
I'm from Devon, yeah. I went jogging this morning. I was looking out across the beautiful channel. And you know what I saw? I saw my country being turned into the Nation of Islam because of all of these migrants.
Okay. Thank you for that. He saw his country being turned into the Nation of Islam. I think what's happened here is that people have misunderstood what the Nation of Islam actually means.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. Something strange has happened tonight. I'm just going to take them as they come. Yeah.
Hey, bitch. Are you available?
Superb. Yeah. It's funny.
Regarding the case of this poor young girl, it's really sad. Never heard of it, and I'm sure that you hadn't too. And it's a terrible story of the 7-year-old killed. And maybe some of your listeners can tell us more about it, because it certainly isn't in the news for some reason. I'm sure that the reason that it's not in the news isn't because the guy was Somali or he was Arab or whatever he was. Sadly, this sort of stuff happens all the time, and we got to put a stop to it somehow. Somehow we have to stop this. I'm not saying stop it, but equally stop it from the Muslims doing it, and stop it from the English people. Because if you go through right now on YouTube, you can see English people killing so many people in the park also. So we got to put a stop. We've got to hate all killing from all religions and all angles.
Absolutely right. It's very interesting, and it must be that people have not understood what the term Nation of Islam means. They've thought it's something to do with turning this nation into some kind of Islamic nation, and we've been inundated with calls like never before. They say, "Be careful what you wish for." I used to wish that I would get more phone calls to this show.
Well, the problem is, I just want an equal time to respond to them. If they have a couple of 2 minutes, I want to have 2 minutes. If they have 10 seconds, I want to have 10 seconds. That's the only fair thing that I can see. And I wanted to come back in particular to Ian, who made the comment and who actually kind of retracted, and I thank him for that I'm obviously not involved or I support this whatsoever. And he said that those people are bringing trash in from other countries. I agree with him. I agree with him 100%, and I'm against that trash. If there is trash coming into this country, I'm against that completely. I'm originally from Luton. I'm a Lutonian. I went to school there. I grew up there. I was born in Peterborough.
Proud Lutonian, yeah.
In Luton.
Yeah.
And I'm with Tommy Robinson in that case. So when he says that those paedophile gangs, and when he's going somewhere, I want to go with him. I want to stand with him, but I want to stand against the convicted pedos. It's not fair to just, because in this country, we shouldn't have that, and it's not fair. You know, people are innocent until they're proven guilty. And I want to stand right there with Tommy Robinson, right in front of the pedophile's face, be he white, black, or other, or brown, or anything, or Muslim. I want to stand to his face and do something that, you know, which is going to get me in trouble if I say it here. So Ian, if you're listening, we're with you. We don't want that trash, and I agree with you that people are bringing in trash from wherever, you know, and we're against that sort of stuff. So whatever you hear in the media, don't take it, or whatever you hear. But seriously, if you think that when it's a kind of like Asian Muslim thing, right now, go on to YouTube and go on to pedophile hunters, and you'll see that 99% of them, pedophile hunters and pedophile catchers and all sorts, are white. They're catching white pedophiles, and we should be against them also. I'm against those white pedophiles, and I'm against Muslim pedophiles, but the facts are facts. Go on it, 99%, and I wouldn't even mention this. I've never mentioned this before. They are white, and that's irrelevant. So we got to stand against all this crap, not just, you know, or if a black man does it and, you know, we're up in arms. No, we got to be against it no matter what.
Very well said, Omar. Very well said. Superb. Yeah, it's a shame that this will probably get taken down due to hate speech, unfortunately. But thanks for joining me, Omar. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I just want to say to everyone, you know, you got to stop the hate. You know, let's speak the truth. Jesus said, "Speak the truth, and the truth shall set you free."
Superb. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to continue with my video.
And they look like you. They grow the beard. They got kufi on. They got jalabia. They got jalabia. They speak Arabic. Because, by the way, Shaitan speaks Arabic too. For those of you who say, oh, you lot are not real Muslims because you don't speak Arabic. Shaitan speaks Arabic. And he speaks it very well. And so, the enemy is in your mosque. And the enemy right now, by the way, he's been doing this to black people for years. But he's now doing it to you all now. But he's in your mosque and he's recruiting you. Have you not noticed how all of the so-called jihadists, how all of the so-called bombers and terrorists, have you not noticed how when, after the deed has been done, how when you read the news reports, how all of these so-called terrorists have always got a relationship with the security forces. How they always knew them before. Because what you don't know is that these people have been recruited and they have been sent in because many of them are ignorant like most religious people, and they can be manipulated to become emotional and crazy. And they go and do crazy things, thinking that they're doing Allah a favor. Some of you come around here talking about, oh, some of you hate the Nation of Islam so badly. Some of you are thinking about performing some kind of jihad on us. You're so silly. You're so silly. Oh no, we've heard it. We've heard it. They call us kufr, kafir. They call us all kind of ugly names. They follow us up and down the country when we're speaking in universities. We've heard it all. But let me tell you something. You can call us names all you want. Makes no difference to us. We know who we are. And what we're saying to you is that while you are wasting time trying to target the Nation of Islam, you are being targeted. And your Islam is finished. It is finished because you have allowed the enemy, because you love what you... Let me tell you something. I'm talking to the Arabs and the Pakistanis in particular. You love the white man so much that you think that this white man, when you can recruit a white man into Islam, you're so happy. You're so happy. But this white man, He hates Islam. Islam to him is the enemy. Islam is the only thing that stands between the white man and the white man's total hegemony on the planet. He desires to control the entire planet. Did you know that during the time of Saddam Hussein? Did you know that?
We've got one more call. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
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 Hello. You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you please deport all the Muslim immigrants, please?
Okay. Go to another call. Hello.
Hi, that's Mac.
Oh, hello, Mac. Thanks for calling, mate. Sorry, Mac. Bye. Hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Salam. Oh, I'm all right. So, look, is that Imran?
Yes, how are you?
Bless you for calling, Imran. It's the worst night to call, unfortunately, because we're being inundated with a lot of calls. But thank you for calling.
Yeah. Slow the volume on that, please. All right. Yeah, I saw a bit of the shouting and stuff going on. You know, alhamdulillah, right? As I was born in this country, and I love this country. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's called the Union of Jacob. Yeah, the three patron saints, right, were completely compatible with the original Islam. You know, Saint George of England, loyal to him all the way, mate. Saint George, yeah, lend me a ear, right, all the way. St. Andrew of Scotland, and this is a united country. It was built up on Christian values, right? These Christian values, teachings of our Messiah, Jesus Christ, right? And completely compatible, right? Beautiful. You know, the English people, they taught me manners, right? Now, the thing was, right, when you know, one of the things that an old teacher once said to me, he said, it's hardly progress for a cannibal to use a fork and knife, yeah?
Great quote.
There's a great wisdom in that, right? One can hardly call it progress for a cannibal to use a fork and knife. Now, what happens is that you got to understand that the people of England, right? They've you know, their culture has adapted over a long period of time. You know, the great things of honor, of chivalry, of friendship, all of these things, right, were instilled, and it was the backbone of you know, the society. Whether, I know they had internal wars and stuff, but over time they kind of, you know, moved in that direction. For example, when the English went to India, and what used to happen in the old Indian culture, in the Hindus, what they used to do was when the husband died, the wife used to get burnt. This is in the Hindu religion. They used to burn the wife, yeah, and these were like barbaric practices. And wherever the people of the West had generally gone, you know, those original values, you know, they had this kind of moral that was there, and that was done before. You know, they got their moral teachings from the Bible, from you know, before the Islamic ideas of the morals of Islamic morals, before they came into play. You know, you've got to understand that Allah had already given morals, you know, to the people of England and the West in general, right? Now, one thing that's got to be understood is that we've got to go back to where this key point here is. Never ever forget King Richard the Lionheart. Okay, this is the English king, right? A true king, one of the true kings of England, right? That bloodline is purely of an English nature, and is a true one. Now, never ever forget that. You know, he made a deal with Salahuddin Ayyubi, right? Initially, you know, you can read the stories. Salahuddin Ayyubi was respected by the Knights of England, right? And never ever, right, that there was peace struck between them. That should, you know, Jerusalem should never ever fall. It was, should never fall into hands that would not allow this peace to continue. When the Pope had lied to King Richard the Lionheart, you know, about what had happened. Remember, he said that he had a dream of the Virgin Mary and so forth. And when King Richard actually found out that, hold on for a second, these people, you know, believe in the Messiah Jesus Christ. You know, they were, you know, that even the Virgin Mary. It's a virgin birth. This is what binds us. This is the common word. Our Lord is the same Lord. It's Yahuwah, Allahuwa. You know, Ayatul Kursi, Allahuwa al-Hayyul Qayyum, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. It's the same Rabb. Do not change that. Now, these people had already known about Allah before, you know, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came and taught us more about Allah. It's a continuation, and you must understand this. Now, don't forget what he done. When King Richard the Lionheart was going to come back to England, what did they do? They stopped him, because he was coming back with the truth of what happened in the Holy Land. He now knew that the Muslims were not the enemy. This is very important. They were not the enemy. I'm not talking about these today's lukewarm Muslims, right, who have the name of Muslim, right, but their behavior is abhorrent. You know, astaghfirullah, you know, the treatment of these, what's happening about these grooming gangs and stuff, it sickens me. It sickens me to death, you know, when you hear about this stuff, because I've got children, right? My children play with everybody of different races, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about England is that, you know, I've been to Arab countries. You should see the racism there. You know, when my friends from Indian, you know, if they got Indian skin, or my black friends went to Arab countries, the Arabs were more racist to them, right, than the English people are in this country. And, you know, that shocked me. And this is what you're seeing. So, you know, people got to look at it, that when you bring in, you know, certain people who have not adapted to the culture, they're bringing that kind of culture here, and they're looking down then on the white people, right? I'm sorry, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm a Muslim, but I will tell the truth. You have to tell the truth. And they look down on the white people, as they look down, thinking that they've got a superiority complex, that Arabs are the greatest of all, and then everybody else is underneath. But they're imitating this you know, a kind of like a Western attitude that is wrong. You know, there should be no place for racism. Nation of Islam is another group that we were just talking about, that they have the same mentality where there's this racist element, and this is wrong. This is completely, you know, evil. You know, in every, racism is never a good idea, right?
You're right, Imran. I think the negatives that are coming out here are from anger. The Nation of Islam are angry for a reason. There are white British people who are angry for a reason. And we have to talk about it. We have to come and reason together. And I think calls like yours just now will bring us a step closer together, even if it's only a millimetre. And some racist might say, yeah, well, he's the exception. He's the 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. But it's that step to bring us closer. I think you've cheered me up anyway. Thank you. What was quite a negative night so far, you've cheered me up, and I appreciate it.
No, alhamdulillah. You know, yeah, alhamdulillah, I know you work amazing, you know, the way you do things, right? Alhamdulillah. And I know it's really, really difficult, but alhamdulillah, just keep on going. Because, you know what, most of the people are like us. Most of the people, right, they see that, look, we can live together. We don't need to, you know, we just learn from each other. All of us are learning from each other. Love each other. We're neighbours. Love thy neighbour. I love England. You know what? England looked after me. When I was a child, I got lost, right? I got lost. I didn't know where I was. I couldn't, you know, speak English properly. And a beautiful, you know, a white woman and her mother, right, they found me and they took me into their house. They looked after me until the police came. And, you know, I'll always be in debt to them for that. You know, they could have just ignored me or done whatever, right? But they really did look after. And they taught me manners. You know, mannerisms. The Prophet Muhammad says in manners, one of the greatest things you could teach your children. And these manners have helped me all over the world. Wherever I traveled, you know, I always took these English mannerisms with me. And you know what? There's a lot to be proud of for the English people, because you've done a lot of good. You know, people always seem to focus on the bad, right? But everybody's imitating it. If they're so wrong and so wild, then why do you imitate? Go to Arabian countries, they're all imitating it. Go everywhere, you're imitating the behavior and that, but you're not giving them the respect that is to be given. You know, we learn English, everything's in English now, right? You go to school, you're learning mathematics, you're becoming doctors, whatever, right? But come on, look, I see the poverty now, right? People whose grandparents had fought for this country and so forth. You know, I look after the homeless people where I am, right? And there was a woman, right, called Bridget, right? You know, she had some disabilities. She was abused and she was in the homeless thing, right? And she was in a really bad state, I found her in one of the nights when I was doing my final rounds throughout, town, just looking for any homeless or, making sure they're not on the street, or because people pee on the homeless, they beat them up, set their sleeping bags on fire. So, it's horrible. But, alhamdulillah, it's one of the things I try and do is just try and make sure that they're safe once they're in hospital, go and visit them because no one goes and visits them and stuff like this. These are the kind of things that we all should do, It's a simple thing, but it works. But this poor girl, Bridget, right? Her father fought in the war and all the rest of it. And the way she, I knew that she was something, I just got this feeling something really bad was going to happen to her because she was crying and she goes, I don't want to go back home because my house is full of maggots and there's flies everywhere and I feel really sick. And obviously she needs to be taken care of. I went to the police station and as I got there, right, I said, look, please, right, there's this woman, she needs help. Please, can someone help her out? Now, listen to this, Julian. This is really, really sad. As I've gone out to do this, the police officer said, oh, we know her. She's just a drunkard. I go, no, she's a 50-year-old woman. She needs help. As I've gone back outside, I said, if you're not going to help her, I'm going to call it 999 and say that, look, she needs to go to the hospital or something. I've gone back outside, Julian, right, and guess what's happened? She's gone. She's vanished from there. So I'm looking around for her. Can't find her anywhere. Thinking, Allah, what's happened here? Anyway, I've looked. I spent 2 hours looking all over City Centre. I thought, there's no way she could have vanished like that. I'm asking people. No one's saying anything. Anyway, I get back to the next morning. I've gone to the homeless shelter, at breakfast, find out if anybody's in hospital or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, everybody's talking. Oh, do you know Bridget's dead? Bridget's dead. I went, what do you mean? What's happened? Anyway, she died and so forth. I went, but how? I just spoke to her. We were going to go to the hospital. And the cover story was some homeless people grabbed her. Basically, they had taken a card of her, her bank card, so her benefits money. So these other homeless people had taken her benefits money, and basically they knew that all of it was going to come out if I had taken her to the police, right? And they didn't want that to happen, so they took her, and then she apparently urinated at the person's house by mistake, and the person beat her up so badly, right, that she died. She died there and there, and horrible things were done to her after she was dead. Now, I went back to the police. The police didn't do nothing about it, Julian. They did nothing, right? This is the state of affairs where we're at. The police themselves, right, they said, no, she was just a drunkard, and, she died like that. But there were people there, right, who witnessed what happened to her, and this is an English person, so I can see the anger that is there. When I do see, it makes me angry, right, when I saw this, So when you see that level of anger that's happening, there is this underlying anger, but the direction, the country united will stand, divided we will fall, right? We are one, right? Our Messiah is the same. Please remember this. Oh, English brethren, our Messiah is the same. Yet Jesus will not approve, right? We got to stay together, guys. Right? We'll stand. If a whole load of... Look, as Muslims, we who were born in this country, did you know that if ISIS came to attack this country, we the Muslims of England, have to stand by the English and fight against ISIS? We have to fight. That's our loyalty to the land. My mother is buried here. My baby girl is buried in this land, right? So as far as I'm concerned, I will defend this land. Right, because this is what it's about, and this is why I tell all Muslims that you got your families are buried here, your mothers are buried here. Right, love this country, what it's done for you. Right, love your religion. Be English Muslims. Right, for England. Right, this is what it is. When the Sheen enters the scene, then will awaken the Arifin, and that unity has to come. Don't go against it. The enemies don't want to divide it, and you know what will happen. Right, England can't fall. Right, we've got to stick together. Right, we've got to help each other out. Right, we work together. For the sake of money, we unite with each other. Right, for the sake of money, for some fat bank boss or, stupid government thing, we work together and tolerate each other. Yet for the sake of our families, we're not tolerating each other. For the sake of our communities, we're not. We're trying to create division. Come on, we need to wake up, guys. Seriously, everybody does. This isn't the way forward. The way forward, right, is to stick together and learn from each other. We have so much to learn from each other. you know, and inshallah, if you can move in that direction, we'll make it. You know, and before pointing fingers for the Christian brothers, you know, like Brother Julian was saying about how you know this. I for me personally, I cannot accept, right? Regardless, it's not in the Quran that the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In fact, it says the opposite. That you know, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did not. You know, he followed the laws of the Quran. So there's nothing in it that says that you can marry a child in the Quran. There's nothing in the Quran that says you can marry a child. Okay. There's nothing, regardless of other people's interpretation, and it is not befitting for the majesty of a prophet, right, to go like that. Who are you lot? You lot are abasing the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu by this. Bukhari is not the Quran, okay? I want to see which one of you on the day of judgment is going to stand in front of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu like that. Seriously, whoever's got the guts to do that, let's see, right? And alhamdulillah, if you want to tarnish me, I don't care, but inshallah, I'll be one of the people smiling, because I can't accept that in my heart, right? And before you figure out, right, first find out how old was the Virgin Mary when she had our Messiah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, please try and learn about that as well. Yeah, before you point fingers and look at everything else, right? Look at it all properly, right? Take everything into context first, right? Before you start pushing fingers, right? My Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu was not a pedophile, all right? If he, you know, I would never follow such a religion, right? If that was the case. In my heart of hearts, yeah. You know, everything, look at the nature of this man. Everything he'd done. Everything. The way he looked after his animals. Just his animals, the way he loved them. One day, right, there was the Sahaba were walking, and there was a dog that was dead. And the Sahaba, it was walking, and the Sahaba was saying, you know, it smelled, and this and that. And the Prophet was the only one who looked at it and said, oh, look how beautiful his teeth are. It was a dead dog, rotting.
Optimist.
And he still looked at the beauty in it. He said, look how beautiful his teeth are. Right? So, and for the people who got things against dogs, right? The Quran itself preserves the dog. One of the dogs, the Ashabul Kahf, yeah? The dog is preserved, yeah? The companions of the cave, yeah? The sleepers of Ephesus, right? The dog is being saved. And it says, out of all the animals, right? The one animal that will be given a human form, the sacred human form, right? Is that dog of the companions of the cave. And one of the old teachers, he goes, look at this. The wife of Lot accompanied evil people, right? And the lineage of prophets from Lot was seized. Yet the dog, a simple dog, accompanied the pious people of Yahuwah, and that dog has been granted the status of a human being, right? So please look at the deen in a proper way. Don't look at it with one eye. Dajjal is one eye. If you look at it with one eye, right, you use depth perception. Look at it with both eyes. Look at it from the concept of the Muslims. Look at it from the concept of the Christians. There's no other concept. That's it. You balance yourself in between these two, and you found it. You found Sirat al-Mustaqim, the blue sky, yeah? Everything under the blue sky, the green grass. And you've made it, right? You've made it.
Man.
And it doesn't matter. Haters are gonna hate, alhamdulillah. Right? But Islam, right, is a simple thing. It's a simple religion, right? You don't have to go too far in, right? Inshallah. That's all there is to it, man.
Man, yours was the most patriotic call of the night. I appreciate it. That's a call from British Muslim Imran. Thank you very much for that.
Allah bless you.
Thank you very much.
And all the good people, right? Stay strong, right? In these difficult times, we'll make it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I love you, bro, right?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yeah. Well, it's been quite the night. Thank you for all your calls. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you for appreciating freedom of speech. You're right, I do believe in freedom of speech. I hope this video won't be taken down. If it is, it will not be by me. It will have been by YouTube, and that's up to them. And if we don't like what YouTube do, we need to create another platform where we can have our own freedom of speech. Yeah, thanks, mate. Brilliant. And the more people that disagree with me, the better. Because when you have two contrasting opinions, very often the truth is in the middle. We've got last caller of the night. Hello, caller. Are you there? No one there. Oh, there you go. Thank you for watching. This has been Lessons for Life. We'll do it all again soon. We were here. We're gone. Laters. Hello? Are you there?